It's a Solheim this week. Never fails to deliver. 19th playing. It's at the Robert Trent Jones Golf Club in Virginia and Gainesville, as Jamie said. It was a tie last year, which meant Europe retained. Interesting, Soph, USA haven't won since 2017 outright. I mean, for some of the teams they've had and the players they've had, it seems a long time, but do you think they're the favourites going into this week?
Yeah, they're always the favourites, and especially because it's in America. They will have to be favourites. They've got the world number 1 and 2 and Nelly Korda and Lilia Vu. So yes, they are.
Okay. I think so as well. Easy. I think we can sometimes forget just how epic that comeback was last year in Spain. We're 11-13 down with a certain point on the course of the Americans, and then especially Caroline Hedwall, Maya Stark, and then Siganda bringing the house down on 17 secured points. That was one of the best comebacks, I think, for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have to go back to Friday morning. They lost all 4 foursomes matches Friday morning, the Europeans. And the Europeans in the men and the women's game are known for foursomes. So you go and lose that. Then you head into the singles, and same as the Ryder Cup, we're not known for coming out on top of the singles. And I thought it was looking all right. I really did. And then Georgia struggled coming home. Just couldn't get the ball in the hole. And then you look down the leaderboard and you couldn't find that half-point that you needed because Hedwall was down. And then she holed like a 40-footer on 13 and just went daft. I mean, absolutely daft. Picked up 5 birdies coming in. And poor Ali Ewan just didn't know what hit her. The Hedwall Express was leaving the station. And in true Caroline Hedwall style, I mean, she was playing that badly that I reckon Suzanne would have sat her on, but she couldn't, because at the Solheim Cup, you have to play one match before you play singles. You have to be given a go, you know. So every time I walked on that driving range, from Tuesday to Sunday, poor Caroline Hedwall was on it. Like, let's try and find something. And she found it, didn't she? I mean, we go on about Carlotta's shot into 17, and it was amazing because it was in that moment. But then I go on to 18, and I don't know many women on this planet that can hit that 3-wood from that spot and find that green.
That was absurd.
It was, yes. It was, and everything was just happening at that moment, and it was one of the best hours of golf I've ever seen. And thankfully, it was on the European side of it. And I just think in the last 3 years, or 3 Solheims, Europe have had moments. I thought they played I think they played the finishing holes better. We've had hole-in-ones, we've had chip-ins, we've had hole-outs from the fairway. We've made moments, and the Americans just have not done that.
Yeah. Jamie, I mean, the Americans didn't play bad, to be fair, last time out, but I think that would have really stung them, wouldn't it? Stacey Lewis and Suzanne, they're still both captains, and the teams haven't changed too much. I think that would have stung the Americans, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And if you look at the betting, it's 8-13 USA, 8-5 Europe. I think USA are strong favourites on this golf course. I was speaking to Dame Laura the other week. She said it's a long track, which influenced the picks that Susan Pedersen made. Europe have a much more experienced team than the USA. USA have only got 4 players who played 2 or more Solheim Cup, so they're quite inexperienced, and that can work for you both ways. But with the home advantage, they reckon the crowd are going to be rowdy. There's a shock. On a long old golf course, yeah, I think they're worthy favourites. But listen, the team camaraderie that Europe possess, you just never know, you know. Europe have got some experienced players in there, and for them to win, they've got to play well. It's always the case, you know. I've worked at Ryder Cups, 5 of them, and you know, Celine Boutier, Charlie Hull, Siganda, Georgia Hall. They've got to carry the team here, and then you've got the players that I like, Maya Stark and Lynn Grant.
Yeah,
I'm looking for them to step up. Really, I'm really looking for those 2 to step up. Sagstrom's been a bit disappointed. Looked at her record; she's only won 3 out of whatever it is, 10 games or something. She's better than that as well. So
much
that's
better, yeah.
Little Swedish contingent. I don't know whether Sophie would agree to me. They need to step up, I think. Yeah,
Nordqvist always steps up. She always steps up.
What she played? This is her 9th Solheim Cup.
Amazing.
She's
amazing.
She's an assistant captain as well, isn't she?
Yeah, she was vice last time as well.
Oh, okay.
That's just bring somebody else in.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because she's always out on all the LPGA events. She's the one that's there, and obviously Suzanne, Damo, Mel Reid got added this year, didn't she? But Anna's kind of the presence there all the time.
So, and Sophie, who's going to step up for the European team? And would you agree what I said there or not?
Well, I agree in terms of what type of players are going to suit. So Stacey Lewis is a stats woman. She's basically made the course tight because 8 out of the top 10 driving accuracy, 8 of them are American. So she's going for that. She's worked out that short game wise, the Europeans are better. So looking at Finca was wide, reachable par 5s and 4s. She's going, no, we're going to be carrying 5 irons, 6 irons, 7 irons into holes. So then you look at the players that played well at Spain, they might not be the ones that play well here. I don't think we got the best out of Charlie, Georgia and Celine in Spain. I would put them 3 as really strong iron players. They're hopefully going to come into that. And yeah, the likes of Maya Stark and Lynn Grant. I think Lynn Grant will play alongside Carlotta Segander in the 4 balls. We found something with them. But it's going to be it's interesting what Stacey feels that the Americans are good at, what we aren't because of all the stats. But when you do look at, as Jamie says, when you look at when we do well at the Solheim, the Swedes perform. But that's because obviously there's like 4 of them in the team. I mean, Sagström got married last week, so she's had all that to contend with. Yeah, so she got married to Jack. She actually had to pull out of Jack Clark, who used to caddy for Ludwig. And he now caddies for Anna Nordqvist. So she was playing in Boston on LPGA event, and they ran over. I think there was some delays. So she had to withdraw because she was going to miss her flight back home to Europe to get married. So then she had to put out online, look, everybody, I'm not injured. I was just needed to get home to get married. So maybe, hopefully that's now out of the way. But there's always those little like behind the scene things that you never, like Ollie Brett goes out with Emily Pedersen. Ollie Brett caddies for Roseanne on American team, and he's going out with Emily Pedersen. So there's all these little kind of storylines just to keep an eye out for. But yeah, Emily Pedersen for me, when we look into, if Megan Kang's the vibe in the American room, Emily's that one in the European room. And it's still the case that I feel that the European players get better when they wear the European uniforms, and I haven't seen that from the American side over recent years.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That is a good shout. So, talking about putting on the European uniform, can you talk us through the 2 rookies on the European team? We've got Esther Henseleit and Alban Valenzuela. People might know a little bit more about Henseleit, but can you tell a bit about both of them for the listeners?
Well, first up is Alban. She is mid-20s. Her father's Mexican, her mother's French, but she plays for Switzerland. Now, she was devastated to miss out on the last Solheim Cup. And by all accounts, voiced that. It was like, I wanted to be in that team, was really, really gutted. But that feistiness drove her to get into this team now. So I followed her the Thai LPGA event that Patty Tavatanakit won, and she shot 62. I interviewed her after, best round of your career. Yeah, I want Solheim. Very kind of, that's what I want. Clever, went to Stanford University. And I think probably it came on to most people's radar when she top 10 or top 5 at Chevron, the major last year. So since then has kind of been a solid player, ball striker, and being Swiss, like you have to get to know everybody. You can speak, like she speaks Spanish, so she'll be fine with Carlotta. Obviously speaks French with Celine, and then English as well. So she'll be really good in the team room.
Swedish isn't bad as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a bit like Swiss, speaks every language under the sun. Then moving on to Esther Henseleit. Now, those of you who obviously the Olympic silver medalist, everyone knows her from that. but she backed it up with a second at the Women's Scottish Open. And before that, so she kind of had a breakout season in 2019, which was the COVID times, I suppose, and that came after that. So maybe people didn't really realise what she did, but she won the Ladies European Tour Order of Merit and Rookie of the Year in the same year. And at the point of her winning that, there was only Laura Davies, Dame Laura, and Carlotta Zagander that had ever done that. Now, since then, It has been done since, but that shows the calibre of Esther. In terms of personality, a lot quieter. A lot quieter. I would see her getting along quite well with Leona, Anna Nordqvist. She lives in Scottsdale, so she's been going out to lunch with Anna Nordqvist, getting to know her a bit more, Carlotta Zagander. So at least she's got somebody to gravitate to. And it's the same, I think she'll be about the same age, but she played Junior Solheim with Maya and Lynn. So they're all that same age bracket. So in terms of two rookies, 25 and 26, we're not looking at, babies. And we're also looking at players that are doing well on the LPGA Tour but haven't won.
Yeah,
so that's maybe something to think about.
Enterlight's played lovely. Last few months, he's played really good results. Jamie, just quick on the American team. You look at their lineup, it's power packed. They've got Lilia Vu since a return from injury in June. She hasn't finished worse than 26th in 6 starts, a victory and 2 runners-up. They got Andrea Lee, who's playing good. Lauren Coughlin, is it? I think, isn't it? I'm getting the nod from Sophie. Lauren Coughlin, who's kind of come from nowhere and has been incredible. And so it's in her home state, I think, isn't it? She's from Virginia.
Yeah, she lives in Iowa.
Yeah, so that's going to be great. So, Jamie, you look on paper, their team is incredibly strong.
Well, they've got 2 rookies and 5 players have only played one Solheim Cup before. So they're a very inexperienced team. And I go back to the point I made with Europe. You're going to look towards the top end of their team. Nelly Corder, obviously, she's going to win points. Lilia Vu played 4 games last time, won 1 point. 1 point.
That was incredible. That was surprising.
I don't care how well you're playing. She's under pressure, in my opinion. Rose Yang as well. They'll be looking to her. But Lexi Thompson, let's not forget the Lexi factor here. She's announced her retirement at the end of the year. She can carry this team emotionally. She's going to have the crowd with her. She's going to be, if I'm Europe, she's the player we want to be. We want to quiet her down. And the player that I've followed a few times now is Ali Ewing. I think she hits it great. She really does. But she's only won 3 out of 12 points.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah. So Europe seem to have the press on these girls. So those 5 I mentioned they're the ones, if I'm Stacey Lewis, I'm looking towards. But it's no given. But they might just get carried with the whole occasion. And they've obviously got some really good players who haven't played many Solheim Cups. But yeah, they're very inexperienced. I added it up. The USA team, 32 appearances between them all, and Europe 47. So in terms of experience, and if you've been to a Ryder Cup or Solheim Cup, as Sophie's been to all of them, when you walk to that first tee, it takes a different character. And your form, whether you finish top 26 in the last 5,000 events, I don't care. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So just one more player I want to talk about on the American team. Lovely to see her back, Alison Lee. Because the last time she played Solheim was 2015 in Germany against Suzanne and Charlie. And we know what happened there. But she's been sensational, I think, Alison Lee, and fully deserving a spot on the American team.
Just going back to 2015, those of you that don't know. So Alison Lee has had this standout year. She's quit college at UCLA. She's 20 years old and she suddenly gets on the Solheim Cup team within a year. So it's like, oh, wow, this is amazing. The poor kid, literally gets food poisoning and then gimme gate. So the 17th hole, she picks up the ball and Suzanne Peston looks at her and said, I did not give you that pot. And then it all kicks off. So she must be
Harley
thinking,
crying.
I never want to play one of these again. This is awful. And, since then has fallen in terms of world rankings, but then really picked herself up by coming back to the Ladies European Tour. She came back to Ladies She's won a couple of times and has got herself into the top 50 in the world. She nearly won in Korea last year. She lost out in a playoff to Minji Lee. And for me, if you're looking at what makes the American team come together, there's certain players that Alison Lee is really good friends with Megan Can, Nelly Corder. You know, I imagine that, look, it's not that, I don't look at Nelly and think you're really easy to get to know. She looks like she sits in a different category to a lot of people. But I think in the American team now, you've got Ali Ewing, you've got Lauren Coughlin, that little group, probably with Sarah Schmelzel. Then you've got the Alison Lees with the Megan Kangs and the Nelly Corders. Suddenly you're starting to see these pockets that make a 12 really strong. And in terms of ball striking, like phenomenal. You talk about Nelly Corder golf swing. Wait until you get to see Alison Lee's golf swing. It is sensational. Putting is her weakness. But hey, how many times have we seen people in match play suddenly, like Jamie was saying earlier, get the ball to the hole and start making some?
That's all you do. Very quickly then, give us, what do you think, a prediction, Soph? Come to you first. Ty.
Oh, Europe are going to win. I always say that.
You're at win, are you?
Yeah.
Come on, score. Come on. Out of 28, what are we going for?
This is an important year because, like Jamie was saying, there'll be a bit of a changing of the guard in Netherlands. So this is the time where Anna, Carlotta, those type of players winning over in America, finish like their legacy. I don't know if we'll see Anna again. I think we'll probably see Carlotta again. But this is the time to, and it's with Suzanne Pettersson. This team, I think this is their one. So I don't care how much they win by. I really don't. In fact, you know what? It'd be even funnier if they retained it, wouldn't it? And they'd be like, what? So yeah, I really don't care. I don't care how much they win it by, or if they don't win it. I just want that crystal to come back.
Okay, sounds good. Jamie?
Well, obviously the heart's with Europe. Obviously, always is, always will be. I'm lucky to do quite a few of the women's events, and I enjoy watching them all play. It'd be a great watch. This, it's great. It's in the evening for us as well, so we
really
better glue ourselves into it. Yeah. I just think the Americans they just have to win this. They can't not have that cup. So I'm going to say 15.5, 12.5. Hope I'm wrong.
Oof.
And I like Ali Ewing as top point scorer for the USA. There you go.
Good shout.
Because I've followed her a few times. She really impressed me. And she can't carry on losing games. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, it should be a great watch. The main thing in the Ryder Cup, Solheim Cup. It's about the sport. It's about the playing the right way. I don't want to see somebody not giving a putt from 2 inches, for example. So it's sport in its truest senses.
I'm gonna go for a tie. I'm gonna go for back-to-back ties in the Solheim. Just everyone biting their nails down to the bone.
Where's that? Have you got that splinter out? Take it out. Come on.
I think it's gonna be close. I don't think it's gonna be really close this year. I've got a feeling.